Hello friends. Welcome to our channel The Classic Cuts, where classic literature comes to life in a whole new way. Join us as we take beloved novels and condense them into abridged, visually stunning versions that capture the essence and mood of the original story. Get ready to be entertained and educated as we bring these timeless tales to a new generation. Let's dive into the world of literature together. Enjoy the show. In this video, get ready to be whisked away to the tumultuous days of the French Revolution in our first novel, The Scarlet Pimpernel, by Baroness Orczy. Follow the daring and mysterious adventures of the elusive hero, the Scarlet Pimpernel, as he risks his life to save innocent victims from the guillotine. This classic tale of love, sacrifice, and bravery will keep you on the edge of your seat. Let's begin the adventure. Chapter 1. Paris, September, 1792. It is the late 18th century, and France is in the midst of the French Revolution. The revolutionary government, known as the Reign of Terror, is hunting down and executing any aristocrats who are perceived as enemies of the state. This includes even the children. The guillotine, a device used for beheading, is in constant use as the revolutionaries seek to rid the country of its perceived enemies. Many aristocrats are trying to escape the country, but they are thwarted at every turn by barricades and checkpoints. The people are eager to see the heads of these traitors fall by the guillotine, and tensions are high. Each of the gates leading out of the city was barricaded and patrolled by soldiers. West Gate was barricaded by Sergeant Bibbet and his men, who had a particular skill to snuff out an aristo in disguise. Bibbet had a keen sense of humor, and it was well worth hanging around that west barricade in order to see him catch an aristo in the very act of trying to flee from the vengeance of the people. Sometimes Bibbet would let his prey out by the gates, allowing him to think for the space of 2 minutes at least that he really had escaped out of Paris, and might even manage to reach the coast of England in safety. But Bibbet would let the unfortunate wretch walk about 10 meters towards the open country. Then he would send 2 men after him and bring him back, stripped of his disguise. He will be sent for a summary trial by the Committee of Public Safety, presided by Citoyen Fouquier-Tinville the next day, and the fond embrace of Madame la Guillotine soon after the trial. No wonder the crowd favors the West Gate. The crowd had seen 100 noble heads fall beneath the guillotine today. It wanted to make sure that it would see another 100 falls tomorrow. Despite all the checkpoints and cunning watch of all the sergeants, recently a very great number of aristos had succeeded in escaping out of France and in reaching England safely. There were curious rumors about these escapes. It was asserted that these escapes were organized by a band of Englishmen, under the leadership of a man only known as the Scarlet Pimpernel. Sergeant Gros-Pierre had been sent to the guillotine for allowing a whole family of aristos to slip out of the North Gate under his very nose. Gros-Pierre was at the gate, keeping good watch. The market carts were going through the gates. There was one laden with casks, and driven by an old man, with a boy beside him. He looked into the casks, and saw most of them were empty, and let the cart go through. Half an hour later up comes a captain of the guard, with a squad of some dozen soldiers with him. Has a cart gone through? He asks of Gros-Pierre breathlessly. Yes, says Gros-Pierre. Not half an hour ago. And you have let them escape, shouts the captain furiously. You'll go to the guillotine for this citoyen sergeant. That cart held concealed the ci-devant Duc de Chalice and all his family. What? Thunders Gros-Pierre, aghast. Aye. And the driver was none other than that cursed Englishman, the Scarlet Pimpernel. After them, my men, shouts the captain. Remember the reward. After them. They cannot have gone far. And with that he rushes through the gate, followed by his dozen soldiers. On that evening, Sergeant Gros-Pierre learns that the captain of the guard was that damned Englishman in disguise, and every one of his soldiers aristos. And Sergeant Gros-Pierre was sent to the guillotine for his terrible mistake. The escapes have become very frequent and singularly daring these days. Citoyen Fouquier-Tinville would receive mysterious notes signed with a red flower symbol, the Scarlet Pimpernel, informing him of the coming daring operation of the English men. Within a few hours of this notice, the said escape would have occurred. Today, the air is filled with a palpable tension. Citoyen Fouquier-Tinville has received one such note. The guards at the gates had been doubled. Everyone felt that Bibbet would be the man to catch these Englishmen. So people came to watch him at the West Gate, to witness him capture the aristos. Bibbet was careful to check each cart that passes, with painstaking carefulness. One such cart was driven by an old hag, who he had seen earlier in the day, gossiping with fellow onlookers of the West Gate. When inquired what is she carrying, she mentions her grandson has got smallpox or plague. At the first mention of the word smallpox, Bibbet had stepped hastily backwards, and when the old hag spoke of the plague, he retreated from her as fast as he could. "Curse you," he muttered, whilst the whole crowd hastily avoided the cart, leaving it standing all alone in the midst of the place. The old hag laughed. "Curse you, citoyen, for being a coward," she said. "Bah! What a man to be afraid of sickness! Get out with you and with your plague-stricken brood," shouted Bibbet hoarsely. A few minutes later a captain of the guard arrives breathlessly. "A cart," he shouted breathlessly, even before he had reached the gates. "Driven by an old hag. A covered cart." "There were a dozen," retorted Bibbet. "An old hag who said her son had the plague," said the captain. "Yes, yes," said Bibbet. "You have not let them go, did you?" demanded the captain. "The cart contained the ci-devant Comtesse de Tournay and her 2 children. All of them traitors and condemned to death." "And their driver?" muttered Bibbet, as a superstitious shudder ran down his spine. "Sacre tonnerre," said the captain. "But it is feared that it was that accursed Englishman himself, the Scarlet Pimpernel." Thanks for watching the Classic Cuts channel. We hope you are enjoying our condensed version of classics. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share our channel with your friends. We'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment below with your thoughts on the novel, and any suggestions for novels you'd like to see us tackle next. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for joining us on this literary entertainment.